Hey Dude,
The 90s Called,
with Christine Taylor and David Lascher.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Hey Dude, The 90s Called podcast. I'm David.
Hi David, I'm Christine.
What's
Welcome
up,
back
Christine?
to the podcast, everyone. Yeah, we got an exciting one today.
Yeah, this is my childhood. Corey Feldman is the guy that was in every movie when we were in our teens,
I know. I mean, movies it just, I can't imagine, I can't imagine a childhood without these movies. Gremlins, The Goonies, Stand By Me, Lost Boys, Dream a Little Dream. I mean, and those are all 80s. I know this is a 90s podcast, but he worked nonstop through the 90s as well. And he's just kind of taking off, like having this sort of new next chapter in his career, which is really exciting. What was your favorite? I know what your favorite Corey Feldman movie is.
Stand By Me.
Of course.
Corey Feldman's scene about his father. His work moved me when I was a kid. Like I really, connected with his performances, and of course, Goonies.
Next
Lost
Level.
Boy.
Yes, the Lost Boys. I mean, we just showed Quinn the Lost Boys like last year or the year before or something.
Oh, really? Does it hold up?
It really holds up. I mean, it's such a period piece, like the wardrobe. It's so 80s, like it's so late 80s.
Jason Patrick. Yeah.
It's such a damn good movie. I just feel like, and also I don't think I ever saw it, but they did make a sequel to the Lost Boys that he was also in, or produced. I think he produced, which I never saw. But anyway, we're very much looking forward to talking to him. We don't have a huge window of time, so we're going to do our best to get a lot of questions in. He's in a press junket today. If any of you are Masked Singer fans, he was just ousted on The Masked Singer. The big reveal happened, and apparently Jenny McCarthy.
Wait, can I just you must have watched it because you watch every one of these shows.
I love all the shows, but I don't watch them all in real time. I've got everything recorded so that I can kind of go back and like watch highlights. I can't stay on top of all of them at all times, but I do have them on record.
What did you say? He was a seal or something?
He was a seal, this really cute little like fur creature. And, we've had other guests on this show who have been on The Masked Singer. So we got to talk to them about that. I don't know if we'll have a chance to ask him about that stuff because now he's off. So now the big reveal, but apparently Jenny McCarthy guessed him from the first time he came out. And she kept saying, because they give clues. That's the thing. They sing, but they also, the key is they're very sort of obscure clues. So if you cue into those clues, and one of the clues he gave was that he had partied with Jenny at some point in the 90s, or he had spent an evening with Jenny in the 90s or something like that. And Jenny apparently just guessed him from his first performance. And she was right. Other people thought it was going to be Macaulay Culkin. Other people thought it was going to be Haley Joel Osment. It was funny. I read all.
No, if Jenny spent a night with him.
Yes, but it was nothing
must have
sordid.
been a good night.
No, it was nothing. They were both married.
Okay.
Apparently, they were both married to other people.
Okay.
But anyway, it looks like he's here. The legendary Corey Feldman.
Yeah, let's go with Corey Feldman.
Dude, what's up?
Corey. Welcome.
Dude.
This is iconic. Iconic.
Dude, that's so cool. Thanks.
Oh, bro, I know we're probably all the same age around, but I feel like I grew up with you. I feel like I know you.
So you're 22 as well?
All of us. We're all still in our 20s, right?
Exactly.
I know I am. I mean, I wear proof of it every day.
There it is.
You see that? You see it? Can you see it? You can see it, right?
Yes.
You look fantastic.
I don't know. I don't know if you can see it. Wait, let me get a little closer. You can see that? You can see it?
Oh yeah. 22, baby.
That's it. That's me. That's my religion. That's where I live.
Love it.
I live in the land of 22 all the time, which would put us right about 1991, I think. Right. So there you go.
Yes.
I think we need to jump in, right? Like,
yes.
Okay, jump on in. Jump on in. What you got for me? Lay it on me. Throw it on the line. Let's do this thing. Okay.
Christine, you want to go? Because he's got the biggest IMDb page I've ever seen in my life.
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, listen, we'll get to The Masked Singer because that's so exciting, and that all just happened, and we want to hear all about that. But do you mind going back, because like David said, you are a part of just all of us growing up, like the most iconic films.
I'll be honest with you. I know you guys are a 90s podcast, but I'm really not in talking about the same stuff I've talked about a million times. I've done that interview. So I like talking about what's new, what's fresh, what's exciting, what's current, what's relevant. So,
Definitely.
As much as possible, I'd like to stay focused on that stuff.
Let's
once
do
in
that.
a while we can dip, but yeah.
Yeah, can we at least give you some kudos for some of the iconic work that you did as a kid that would literally like changed our lives? And I think because we get the chance.
If you must. No, I'm joking.
We must. And by the way, I'll get it out of the way very quickly because it's not one of the typicals, but it probably is for a certain genre. I am the biggest horror movie fan, and I really cannot wait to talk to you about The Birthday. But Friday the 13th, the final chapter, game changer. Game changer. Okay. That was the first horror movie I got to see in the theaters. And you're amazing at it. And I just wanted to say that. I just needed to do that
thank
after.
You.
It's one of the best ones in the franchise. I'm sorry, just saying it. I think it's the best. I think it tops 1 and 2.
I appreciate that. Thank you. To me, part 3 was the best, but only when it was in 3D. So if you don't have it in 3D, then it's really not the best. But
they would hand you the glasses, right?
Yes,
when you went
of course, yes. Well, David, they still do that now.
No.
Yes, it's a real thing.
The glasses have just gotten better. They've just gotten a little more secure.
No,
they
seriously,
stay on your head a little better.
You don't know this, David? Really?
No, dude, I haven't been to a movie theater in 5 years.
Wow.
David.
Well, David, right 5 years ago, right before COVID, the biggest thing in cinema was actually 3D movies. That's when it kind of came back, and that's when it was really, really big. Yes. Now it's a little less. But yeah, so I mean, I think that the advancements, as you were saying, in technology, that's helped with, the what do they call it? It's not Polaroid. It's polarization. Yes. So that's how they're doing it now with the LED, liquid clear cell glasses, where they actually are moving. There's actual movement. So it's not like the old days, where it was just, a little red and blue plastic pieces of film that you put
almost,
over.
kind of like the eclipse glasses that we all were
right,
wearing too.
Right, exactly.
Couldn't stay on your head.
That was the old school stuff, right? That we grew up with as kids. But now you get like the nice hard plastic ones. Oh, yeah. And a lot of them actually have little motors in them with little batteries, and they're shutter screens. So it's actually shuttering at like 350 clicks per second or something like that.
That would bring me back to the theater for sure.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
You got to do it. And not only that, but these days they've got 4D movies. Why am I telling him that? This is incredible. You have a podcast,
David,
for God's sakes.
I'm not talking to David after this.
Get with the times, baby. Get with the
Corey,
times.
I'm stuck in the 90s, dude.
We've got 4DX. Okay, 4DX is it's like cinema sense around, where you literally, I'm not even joking, the seats move. They blow stuff at you. They put smoke in the theater. They put different fragrances in the theater. They spray water on you. You never know what's going to happen.
Like immersive experience.
Immersive experience. Yeah, it's called 4DX, and you can find it in a lot of the big cinema films that are out now. Like I think the last one I just saw with that was was it Dune 2 or what was another big one that just came out? Oh, maybe no, it wasn't Ghostbusters. But anyway, yes, they do it with a lot of the recent films, and it's a lot of fun, actually.
Dude, I would be remiss for our listeners, at least, to talk about the way you started your career. I mean, Rob Reiner is Stand By Me, Steven Spielberg, Goonies and Gremlins, Joel Schumacher and Lost Boys. I mean, do you look back and go, like, do you realize how insane that is, the quality of the people that you worked with to start your career?
But that wasn't the start of my career. That was
you were
like,
doing sitcoms in the late 70s, right?
Wait, hold on. How old were you in Stand By Me? How was that not the beginning of your career?
that was literally 10 years into my career, man.
Yeah. By the way, you're still as youthful as ever, too. That's the
Thank
thing.
you. I appreciate that.
We
Thank you.
really
God
are
bless you.
all the same age, but you have had such
Yeah.
longevity. Yeah.
Well, I think it's all right here, and it's
It
all right
is.
here.
It's
And it's
so
also in how we treat ourselves. He still can't get over the fact that it was 10 years into my career that I did
I
Stand
know.
By Me. Look
You
at
can
him.
see
He's
him.
still
He's
got that look on his face. Right.
Speechless.
He doesn't know where to go with that.
I don't want to hear about your commercial work and, when you were a baby, but Stand By Me, we had Jerry O'Connell's a good friend of mine. We've had him on here, and just
wait, are you trying to say that the work that I did before Stand By Me was meaningless or insignificant?
No. It all builds. It
No,
all
builds.
we have 25 minutes with you. I want to go.
I know you do, but I don't care about Stand By Me. I talked about it a million years ago, for God's sakes.
I know.
You're talking about these movies that I've talked about 3 million times. So
Okay,
anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I started my career with a McDonald's commercial. Okay, so that was actually the very first thing that I did. That was, yes, it was just a commercial, but that commercial happened to win a Clio Award for Best Commercial. And it also happened to play for 10 years as one of the most classic, beloved commercials McDonald's ever made.
There you go.
What was so great about that commercial?
Nothing. No. To be honest, it was a piece of crap. No,
your adorable face. It was your adorable face.
It was some little kid coming down the stairs, looking for a gift certificate or something. But anyway, the point of it is that I did that in the beginning, but there was a lot of what I would call huge achievements before Stand By Me, such as getting to work with the great Dick Van Dyke. Now, that's something that was an amazing accomplishment at only 5 years old. Okay.
Yep.
So let's start there.
Yes.
I got to do a musical number with Dick Van Dyke at 5 years old.
Mic drop right there.
I got to do my first real acting scene with Cloris Leachman, the Academy Award winner, when I was like 6 years old. I got to work with Malcolm McDowell of A Clockwork Orange and Mary Steenburgen, two of the most esteemed actors in the history of cinema, when I was 7 years old.
Yep.
I starred in a Disney film when I was 8 years old. So yes, there was a lot of career to cover if you want to be nostalgic, is my point.
Yes.
Wow. I had no idea.
And you obviously were a natural. Like, you just worked nonstop from that age till now.
Yeah. How'd you get into it, man, at such a young age?
I did 2 TV series before I was 12 years old. I'd already done 2 TV series that were both national shows. I'd already had, 3 or 4 #1 hits by the time I got to Stand By Me.
Yeah. You were a seasoned veteran by that point.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. You know how I met Jerry O'Connell?
Okay.
We did a Burger King commercial together.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. My first job ever was a Burger King commercial. So we all have fast food in common.
Oh, wow. That is funny. Small, crappy world we live in of fast food. But yes, well, I stayed very far away from those places now. And it is ironic that my first job was, I guess as a puppeteer for the meat and dairy industry, considering my whole life's mission is to be vegetarian and help people not kill animals for food. So kind of ironic that I would have started off in that regard.
Good for you. Good for you. That's incredible. That is incredible.
Well, I guess we all find ourselves somewhere along the way.
Yeah. And I hope that as we, go on these journeys, that we learn new things about ourselves and we make changes. And it just feels like you have constantly reinvented yourself.
We have to. If you stay stagnant, nobody's going to care. Right. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you not only, I think of you as just, you've always been such a good actor. Thank you. Just so good. Yeah. So real in everything you do. And
God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean it, really. you're an author, you're a producer, you're a musician. You're now officially a Masked Singer alum.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. I think my greatest achievement, if you will, is really being a good dad. That to me is the thing I'm most proud of.
Oh my gosh,
that's the thing that's the thing that gets me. And then I would say second greatest achievement maybe is the fact that I'm an ambassador for Child USA and the work that I've done to help change laws to protect children in the industry and children at large. We have actually gotten open 2 look back windows and changed the statute of limitations in 2 states, both California and New York. So that to me is my greatest achievement as a human being outside of being a dad. Now, career wise, I don't feel we're there yet, but I feel that we are working on a steady path to rebuilding what was a once broken career to the point where now we can have much more of a solid, illustrious potential career in the future. So I kind of had to deal with the wreckage of my past, get that uncovered, discovered, and discarded, move it out of the way, and now looking towards the future. And with that, there's a lot of exciting things I have to talk about that are coming up. So as much as I do love looking back, I also love looking forward.
Yes.
Because I'm somebody who thrives on moving forward, as you said, reinventing. Because we all and trust me, there's a lot of artists out there who get stuck in the pigeonhole of never progressing, of never looking past whatever their biggest accomplishment was and priding themselves on that and kind of resting on that laurel. I am the opposite of that, as I'm sure you've seen in the few minutes you've had with me. But I really like to move things forward, and I like to focus on what's next and what's coming. And there's so much great stuff coming, and I'm so excited that it's not just about the Masked Singer, but I am doing the biggest tour of my life this summer.
With
I'm going to be doing.
Bizkit. Yes.
That's right. Speaking of 90s, I mean, you don't get a bigger 90s.
Right.
A 90s band than
right
that.
Right on brand for us. Yes.
That's right. Exactly.
Tell us how this came to be, and are you friendly with the band, or did this just all...
I hate those guys. They're the worst. Are you kidding me? I'll probably be throwing darts at them every time they're not looking.
Come on, you and Fred Durst are hanging out every night, dude.
Yeah, no. Fred and I, we're intimate. Let's just say that. Nice. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
You heard it here first.
I love it's something about that big white beard. It just gets me in all the right places, if you know what I mean. But
the warm fuzzies.
No, I'm joking. Exactly. Seriously though.
Yeah.
No, but no, the truth of the matter is Fred and I actually met at the infamous Playboy Mansion all the way back in the 90s when Limp Bizkit was at the king of their...
the Midsummer Night's Dream party?
I don't know if I'd say the peak because I feel like they're pretty much peaking right now. I mean, they just played, what was it, Athens, and they had like 200,000 people singing every single word to break stuff with only a drum beat being played.
Wow.
They weren't playing the song. Wow. They were just playing a drum beat, and the entire 200,000 in synchronicity sang word for word every song of Break Stuff. So you don't get a bigger callback to the future than that. But I would say they are definitely on top of their game right about now. That's number one, even if it was an old song rehash. But I know they have some new stuff out as well. And Fred is a genius, so everything they do is great. But here's the other side of it. So Fred and I met at the Playboy Mansion back in the 90s. And, at the time he mentioned to me that he was a fan of my music. He's like, we got to work together. Let's do something together. I don't care if it's a song, an album, a movie. We got to do something. And I was like, sure. So we traded numbers and, we kind of kept in touch through the years. And it took about a decade before we were both able to kind of lock our schedules into place and find each other. We literally kind of on and off to the point where he'd be like, yo, man, let's get together. And I kind of got pissed. I was like, yo, dude, if you're going to just flake on me every time we talk about getting together, he's like, you want to fight about it? I was like, yeah, let's go, dude. And that kind of broke the ice. And ever since we've been friends. So what happened was, at some point, I think it was like, okay, screw it. We just got to do this. We just got to, write a song together. And we did for my Angelic to the Core album. So the album that I produced, which was actually my most successful album to date, which happens to be offline right now. Good timing on that one. But because of the fact that there were some copyright issues, apparently, with a couple of the sketches, we did these like comedy sketches in between the songs to help it tell a story and give a narrative. And so some of the sketches that we did back when we made them, these laws didn't exist. But now all of a sudden there's new laws that have come into play that if you use background music from another sample, and that sample was, actually made by humans and not AI, that they can find you and they can make a copyright strike and shut down your entire album because of the fact that
ASCAP is like a mafia.
Yeah, it's insane. So this much of it, there's like 2 seconds of this much material in like 3 or 4 different songs throughout the album that are, sketches between the songs, and we had our entire album removed because of it. So, but that said, on that album, Angelic to the Core, which you can buy, by the way, the physical copy on CD at like, I think, Amazon.
What's the name of your band?
It's just me. It's just me.
But the tour is called Loserville?
Yeah, but it's Corey Feldman. That's it. It's just me.
Okay,
but anyway,
got it.
Anyway, so my first top 40 Billboard hit was on that album. It was called "Go For It." It's the song I did with Snoop Dogg. Okay, so on that same album was also a song with Fred, and that song is called "Seamless," and it's a great song. It's Fred and I. We wrote it together. We produced it together. It's kind of like a perfect blend. If you took Limp Bizkit and Corey Feldman and mashed them together, that's exactly what the sound is. And we have Scott Page, the great Scott Page of Pink Floyd fame, playing sax on it. So it's a really great song. You definitely should check it out. Even if it's not available today, we will have it back up and running within the next 2 weeks, I assure you.
Perfect.
So it's all being worked out. It will be back up online, but you got to hear that. And then also go to my YouTube page if you want to see an early performance of me with Limp Bizkit, because through the years, since Fred and I have been friends, we've done all sorts of things together, from telethons for autism to live performances. And there is a great performance from Fred and I on stage at the House of Blues, where we cover Michael Jackson, and that's a lot of fun. So you got to check it out.
Wait, hold on, go back.
Okay,
you cover Michael Jackson songs?
Yes, well, a song.
One song.
Which song?
I don't want to give it away, but go on my YouTube channel. Go on my YouTube channel right now. It's under Corey Feldman. Just look it up on YouTube, Corey Feldman channel, and then look up the Limp Bizkit House of Blues video that I put up, and you'll love it. So anyway, we'll use that as a teaser to get us to the tour. But anyway, so the tour is the first time that we've ever toured together. So he called me up with this idea. Actually, it was the end of last year. I was about to do this crazy sold out show at House of Blues in San Diego. I was just about to go on stage, and I get a text from him saying, "Hey man, how come I haven't heard back from you about the offer I sent?" And I'm like, "Offer? What are you talking about?" And then at the same time, I see my manager saying, "Hey man, I've got this offer from Limp Bizkit, blah, 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 blah." So I'm like, okay, yo, bro, I'm about to go on stage. It's a crazy show here today. It's sold out. It's packed. I got to get out there. But as soon as I come off stage, I promise I'll have a look at everything and I'll get back to you over the weekend. He's like, okay, I'm on my way to Japan right now doing, a Limp Bizkit Japan tour or something like that. So, when I land, let's talk. And so we did. And it turned out, yes, this was it. It was Low Serve Ill. And that's what we call it, by the way, Low Serve Ill.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
I love that.
Low Serve Ill.
So good.
And you can, by the way, you can come and get tickets to not only see the show, but you can come and see me backstage after the show at Low Serve Ill if you go to my website, CoreyFeldman.net, where we are selling VIP tickets and passes specifically for Low Serve Ill. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Congrats. That is
Thank you very much.
Great story. And by the way, you talked about just always looking forward, but how great is it when you have these relationships that formed or birthed at a period of time at a different chapter in your lives, right? And then
in the 90s.
In the 90s. And, we've had a lot of musicians on who were huge in the 90s and are having a massive resurgence because of the nostalgia, but it's also a sort of window and way in to their new music. Like you said, you beg to differ that Limp Bizkit is peaking now, right? Like they're selling out, and this is your biggest tour date, So I feel like,
not only that, but you got to look at the fact that, I mean, here's one for you that everybody told me my whole life: you'll never have a successful music career. It'll never happen. Nobody's ever going to take you seriously because you're an actor first, and that's the way people know you. And with that, I said, screw you. I'll keep going no matter what. I'll never give up.
Yeah.
And you know what? It took me until age 40 to get my first top 40 Billboard hit. And everybody thought at that time, you can't get a top 40 Billboard hit at age 40. So who would have ever thunk that at this point I would have 3 top 40 Billboard hits under my, whatever you want to call it, backpack or shoulder strap or whatever. But they're in there.
Dude, your next song should be called Top 40 at 40.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. No, I mean, I think I did what I thought at least was inconceivable and undoable as a child or as a young man. I thought, well, once you hit 35, you're done. You're done. You can't possibly have a pop career. And, my music is more successful and bigger than ever. So I've been very, very grateful for the tremendous love and support that we've gotten through the years. There's been a lot of hate too. I guess I'm grateful for that as well, because without the haters,
it comes with the territory. You're exactly right.
Ask Limp Bizkit. Fred and Limp Bizkit would not exist if there were not haters.
Yep.
The reason they are as big as they are is because of the haters. So it's pretty crazy. And the same thing can be said for me. I mean, we did the Today Show. We made history. More people watched that performance than anything at any time in the history of the Today Show. It was over 1 billion views within a day. So,
wait,
I mean, it was historical.
When did you guys perform?
Yeah, when was that?
2016.
Okay,
because we've had Carson Daly's a good friend of ours, and he was on the show, and he talks about the TRL days and how important that was for music in the 90s. And he talks about Fred Durst, how he and Fred and Justin and Brittany, how they started sort of like a movement in music. And Fred Durst was a big part of that conversation.
Absolutely, of course.
And Carson is, now the host of the Today Show, so he's like moved with his audience has grown up.
Right. Well, when I did the Today Show in 2016, Carson had a segment on the show. So that's kind of where he was at that point. But yeah.
That's full circle.
And we did 2 performances on the Today Show. So the first one was such a big deal that they actually had to bring us back and do it again. So it was pretty cool.
Sick.
Yeah.
Corey, we're getting a note that we need to wrap it up because we know you're in a big press day. But I really want to talk to you about the birthday. And this story is phenomenal. How Jordan Peele, this relationship that you have with Jordan Peele, and how, tell me about that. He was a fan of yours, and then you told him about it. And please tell the story of this film. And it's coming to just before we have to go.
Right. Coming to theaters this fall. So excited. Okay. So speaking of progress, moving upward and onward, and then still with a little bit of a callback, here is the perfect film for all of us that we can all get along and find the median right here, the middle ground of everything we've talked about today, which is a film in and of itself that is an antiquity and yet a brand new piece of IP. And that is called The Birthday. And The Birthday is a film noir, brilliant piece of cinematic, lovely filmmaking by a genius filmmaker by the name of Eugenio Mera from Spain. He's a writer and director. And we shot this movie back in 2006, 2005, 2006, somewhere in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's never seen the light of day. It's never been released in America. It's never been released in most of the world. Only released in 2 countries back in 2006. And at the time that it came out, it was hailed and regarded as an incredible achievement in filmmaking, both cinematically and from an acting standpoint. I won a Best Actor award in Luxembourg. And I also, we won Best Art Direction and Best Screenplay at the Sitges Film Festival in Spain the year that it originally was supposed to be released. But the powers that be shut it down and silenced the movie and stopped it from coming out. I think out of the fear that it would have given me too much of a platform, potentially would have led to, award nods and things like that. It already was going that direction. And so they just shut it down. They just stopped it. They never allowed it to come out in America. And fast forward 18 years later, I'm watching, TV one day, or actually I don't watch TV. So it was a friend of mine that sent me a link and said, watch this. And I watched the link, and the link was Jordan Peele on Seth Meyers talking about how much of a fan he is of mine. And this was when he was doing publicity for whatever film he had out at the time.
So cool.
He's saying, oh man, I love Corey Feldman. He's like my muse. And I do all these things, in my films that are little Easter eggs in honor of him. And I don't know if people notice or not, but it's my little inside thing. And I was like blown away by this. Like, what do you mean? What? That's crazy. Nobody's ever called me a muse before. That's wild. And so I all of a sudden receive an invitation from his company to come to attend the premiere of his movie Nope. And so I was like, sure. So I show up at the premiere, and I met Jordan. He was extremely nice, and we traded numbers, and we started texting each other. And during those conversations, he asked, what my greatest loss in my career was. Like, if there was one thing that you could have saved or salvaged or fixed, what would it be? And I said, well, there was this great movie I made 20 years ago, 18 at the time, that I love so much. Great filmmaker, brilliant actors, brilliant, all across the board. It's like dark cinema, very much like David Lynch, that kind of vibe. And he said, well, it sounds amazing. Sounds right up my alley. I'd love to see it. And I said, well, unfortunately, the only way to see it would be to come over to my house, because there's no copies in existence. You can't find it. You can't buy it. You can't rent it. It's not available on the internet. And he said, what? This is crazy. Okay, fine. I'll come over and watch the movie. So him and his producing partner, Ian Cooper, came over to my house, and they watched the film. And lo and behold, he stopped after the film, and he turned to me and he said, this is a cinematic masterpiece, and all of your fans, all of the world needs to see this film. And I said, from your lips to God's ears, Jordan, I have no idea how that's going to ever happen, but okay. And he said, it's going to happen. This is going to be your year. You just wait. You'll see. And I was like, oh, come on, stop it. Mm-hmm. Well, fast forward a couple months, and I get a text from Jordan and Ian, who tell me that they're putting together a film festival at, or it's like a screening, a film series of screenings at the Met Center in the Lincoln Center in New York.
Yes, yes.
And so they do this at the beginning of 2023. And they had this series of screenings, and I show up, and it turns out they used 4 of my films, and then The Birthday, and all the other films, they were busy, but they weren't packed. The Birthday was the only one that sold out, and it sold out 2 screenings. So because of that, it got a huge buzz, and a bunch of distributors came and checked it out. And lo and behold, we got an offer. And out of those offers, we finally made a deal. And I'm happy to say that thanks to Jordan Peele and Ian Cooper, my most beloved piece of work, and the film that I would say is my tour de force. This is my, creme de la creme as far as acting goes. This film that I want everybody to see. If you're a fan of mine, or you really believe you're a fan of mine, see this movie. It's called The Birthday. It will be out this fall from Alamo Drafthouse Cinema. They're going to release it in about 40 theaters, so it's a limited screening release.
Oh, my God. I can't wait to see this.
Hey, Stand By Me opened with only 3 screens, and now it's the most beloved movie ever. So You never know. No, it's true. Really, yes. It only opened in 3 screens.
Jordan Peele's, what an interesting question to you. Not giving you accolades for all your work you've done previously, not asking you.
He did that too.
Okay, but to ask you, what's your biggest loss? What's your biggest loss? What's your biggest regret? That's an interesting question.
Yeah. Yeah. So he made my dream a reality. That's all I can say. I owe this man a lot. I'm so grateful, beyond grateful, that this movie is finally coming out and seeing the light of day. And I'm so pleased that you're all going to get to enjoy it. So I hope you do. And and hopefully we can circle back and talk about all of this next time.
Yes, come back and let's talk to you in the fall when the movie's out. We would love that.
I am the comeback king, So
hey, we'll take it. We will take it.
The reinvention king. That's a great lesson for our listeners. Yeah. Reinvent yourself over and over. Keep moving forward.
That's right.
Congrats on the movie. Congrats.
Yes.
And The Masked Singer. I mean, we can talk about that. you're promoting that as well, right?
Well, yes, the Masked Singer's over though, but yes, everybody should always watch it on Fox every week.
Come on,
even
I know.
even
and
if I'm not on it.
You were so cute. You were the seal.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
so cute. It was a really cute character.
Thank you.
Congratulations on everything. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. It's a real treat to meet you and to chat with you.
No worries. It was fun.
Good luck on the tour. Thanks for everything.
Thank you for having me, and God bless to you. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace
Thank
and
you,
love.
Corey. Thank you so much, buddy.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. How wild was that? I mean...
Yeah, I feel like I've known him my whole life.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think as soon as we knew that he was going to be coming on, and we only had a really finite amount of time since he's in a big press tour today, it was like, where do we even begin? And he very quickly just clearly wanted to talk about
Yeah, he shot me down.
Yes,
Listen, I can't talk to Corey Feldman.
I know.
Without talking about Stand By Me and Goonies and Lost Boys and Gremlins. I cannot have a conversation with him. I don't care what his PR team says.
Well,
I needed to ask him about it.
And he very quickly told you that that's
he said I've
the
talked
top of his.
But can you and I just talk for 1 second about like to work with Rob Reiner, Steven Spielberg, Joel Schumacher, like as at the beginning of your career?
I know. Well, I looked at his IMDb page too, and he did tons of television work in the 70s. Like he was in all different sitcoms I
like
watched
as a little child.
Yeah, but he was like he said, he's like Joey Lawrence. Like he was a seasoned actor at 5 years old, where he was literally like like he said, doing musical numbers with Dick Van Dyke. I mean, he's a prodigy. And it showed in those. That's why he was in hit after hit after hit as a 12, 13-year-old in those movies in the early 80s. That changed our lives. Like, I don't know a world without Gremlins, Goonies, Stand By Me, Lost Boys. Like those are movies we revisit regularly every single year in our household. Those are the movies you don't turn off when you're flipping through the channels and they're on. You just leave it on. And I had to. I know that Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, is not everybody's. It's not on everyone's hit list. Literally one of my favorites.
I'm going to rewatch that. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Part 4, Crispin Glover is in it. Really good. And I remember going, because the joke in our family was Brian and I, my brother, were huge horror movie fans, but my dad, we would rent them. We would go to this was even pre-Blockbuster. There was the little movie rental place in Pennsylvania, and we would rent these horror movies. And my dad, Dad, you're going to laugh at this when you listen. He knows it though. He would take, because in all of the 80s horror movies, there were really pretty gratuitous sex scenes with nudity. Always. Before those characters got killed, they usually had sex. And what my
or
dad...
they were in a bathroom or something.
Oh yeah,
right?
or showering. Yeah. Always a shower. A great shower scene. And my dad would get the rental. He would let us watch the horror movie, but he'd get the rental. He'd preview the sex scenes. He would dub it. We had a double decker. He would dub it, cutting out the sex scenes, but it was fine for us to see heads getting cut off and people like axes going through people's skulls. Are you telling me
Skip re-edited rental movies for you?
Hell yes.
How did he know how to do that?
Oh my God. He was like a tech wizard. He's the one who got all of my Hey Dude stuff on, when Hey Dude came out, it was all
That's good parenting right there.
Well, but it's okay to get an axe in the skull, but I can't see boobs. I mean, that was a little bit
hypocritical. Yes.
A little bit. But because my dad was like, no, all that stuff's fake. I know you guys think that's fake. You don't need to see sex and boobs just yet as 10-year-olds. But I swear to God, that was the first one that I got to see in the theater. And we snuck, and my dad took us to the theater. We didn't sneak in. He took us because we were underage. We were 12 years old when that movie came out, Friday the 13th, the final chapter. And my dad got us tickets and walked us in. And then he left and went out for a bite to eat and then came back and picked us up.
He's like, little bird, fly. You're on your own.
Yes.
You know what the first horror movie I saw and in the theater, and it freaked me out for years, was Nightmare on Elm Street. The first Nightmare on Elm Street I saw in the theater, and I will never forget it.
The best.
It crushed me.
The best. That was the best. Yeah, that came out a little bit after, but so good. Anyway, back to Corey. I liked that he was really clear about wanting to talk about future stuff, but gave us a lot of little nuggets about.
Yeah, and you know what? He's open and honest about that. He's been up and down and up and down and reinvented himself. It's almost like similar to Drew's story, you know, like you got to keep coming back and you can't give up. And he wanted, whatever. I'm so happy for him. He's such a talented guy.
Yeah. I mean, I love Limp Bizkit back in the day. And I want to check out the song they did together. I'm going to go to his YouTube channel. I'm going to look all of this stuff up.
Yeah. And this movie, The Birthday, that somehow Fred Durst was a fan of Corey Feldman's. Jordan Peele was a fan of Corey Feldman's.
Yeah.
And now he's collaborating with both of them. It's just so cool.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's amazing how those years where you think you're sort of at the top and then you have your crash, like he said, he's sort of the wreckage, the hitting rock bottom. And then, but it was those moments that formed some of these relationships that are now, building a new chapter in his career. So I thought it was fascinating. He's so interesting. I've been, frantically researching The Birthday since we got the notes on him, and it looks insane. You've got to look it up, David. It's all done sort of like, I don't know how they shot it, but it's all shot like in real time, like as one continuous shot, like Hitchcock's The Rope. I don't know if you ever saw that, where there are film breaks, but it's shot as if it's all happened in one shot, kind of in real time.
Oh my gosh.
And
did Ben watch it?
No, none of us have seen it. You can't find it anywhere. No, I've just been reading about it. And apparently it's like the last act of the movie is like horrific and scary and a horror thing, but it's comedic. It's apparently he's doing a crazy character a la Jerry Lewis. Like he's really taking on, that's why he's so proud of it, because it's something he's never done before.
Right,
anyway, I was reading a lot.
2006. This is so awesome that Jordan Peele can now make this movie come out. I mean,
Anyway, well, thanks everybody for listening. That was a great, really interesting one. Like certainly one of our, like I said, he every single movie he was in those years, those were movies where I remember seeing him. I'm like, he's so lucky he gets to be in those movies with all of these cool actors. Like, the coolest movies, right?
He's one of the greatest. I love him, and he was part of my growing up for sure, and our listeners. But thank you for listening to Corey Feldman, you guys, and have a great week. And you too, Christine.
Yes, you too. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks for listening. Make sure to subscribe and give us 5 stars.
And please follow us on Instagram at Hey Dude, the 90s Called. See you next time.